Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you're joining from, to Destination Montfort University International Livestream. My name is Pooja Subramanian. I'm an International Recruitment Officer at Montfort University, and I'm also an alumna of the same institution. I'm from India. I did my undergrad studies here at DMU. And today I'm being joined by another presenter, Gemma Chamberlain, who's the International Credibility Manager, and also by another colleague, Daniel Winnie, International Development Manager, who will be here to take any questions from you after we complete the presentation. So let's just dive straight into the presentation. So before that, if you have any questions, feel free to keep them coming in the comment box below, and we will pick it up after the presentation is done. Right, let's jump into the presentation. So as you all know, the Montfort University, Leicester, it's based in the heart of England. So if anyone's struggling to pronounce the word, it's called Leicester, not Leicester or Leicester. So it's a very student-friendly city. It's very diverse, busy, and very lively. So whichever part of the world you're coming from, I'm sure you'll be able to find a piece of your community here. De Montfort University is based in the city center of the city. And like I said, it's very diverse. We have a place called Narborough Road, which is called the most diverse street in the entire UK. Leicester is based in a location with easy access to London, Birmingham, Nottingham, Manchester, Leeds, and Liverpool, all within 1 to 2 hours of train journeys away. It's also home to big employers such as Caterpillar UK, Eon, Europcar, IBM, Next, and PepsiCo, some of the popular brands you can recognize. If you're into sports, Leicester is home for Leicester Tigers rugby and Leicester City football. Both of the stadiums are just about 5 minutes walk from the campus. A bit more about De Montfort University campus. Like I said, it's based in the heart of the city, and all faculties are based in the same campus, which means that you don't have to, communicate or travel between your lectures, from one building to another. It's all the walkable distance. It's also just 15 minutes walk away from the train station and the coach station, and we have plenty of accommodation available just closer to the campus. It's also very close to Leicester Royal Infirmary, which is a hospital for accidents and emergencies, and it's just 2 minutes away. And we have a beautiful river Soar, which is cutting right through the campus. Perfect spot for you to relax in between your lectures. And we have our own leisure center that's home for students to, get involved in any sports, swimming. We also have fitness and dance suites in this leisure center. And we also have a 24/7 library, and we have campus-based security, so it's very safe for all students. And we also have plenty of prayer rooms for people following different faiths. So what will you be studying? So we have about 200 courses across undergraduate and postgraduate study. So far, up until September 2025, we've had 4 faculties: computing, engineering, and media, we called it CAM; arts, design, and humanities, called it ADH. We have business and law, BAL, and health and life sciences, HLS. Now, we've had a faculty merger recently. The first 2 faculties that you're seeing, they've been merged together to called TAC, Technology, Arts, and Culture. But we're still sticking with, old ways of calling the 4 different faculties, so you understand how the scholarships work. In terms of our ranking, we have been ranked first globally for overall average student satisfaction by ETO. And like I said, we have prayer rooms, which can host up to 400 students or staff members at a time. And we have been ranked #1 for that globally. And learning overall, we've been ranked #1. And for career goal preparation as well, we've been ranked #1. I'll go a bit more into how we support students with their career preparation later in the presentation. We're also ranked a top 30 university by What Uni Student Choice, and we're also ranked 5 stars by QS. So what's the learning approach? So some of you students are probably considering applying to De Montfort University, and some of you may already have an offer. So in case you're wondering what we'll be teaching and how we'll be teaching in something called block method. So we don't teach all the modules at the same time. So you will be learning one module for 7 weeks, and we call that a block. So each semester you have 2 blocks, and we have a 1 week gap between 2 blocks. So in that 1 week, in that one block, you will be completing all the assessments, all the learning objectives of that particular module before you move on to the next block. So I'll tell you in a minute why this is very beneficial for students. The enhancement week that you see in between these 2 blocks, that's an opportunity for students to attend graduate fairs that we'll be hosting on campus, catch up on, building their skills, applying for any internships, even visit the careers and placement team, where you can go and fix appointments with them to get your CV and your cover letters ready for applying for any of the jobs. Similarly, postgraduate students, we have 6 blocks in a year. Again, each block is 7 weeks. We've had about 92 to 93% of student satisfaction from this block teaching method, because it gives students an opportunity to focus on their study and life and balance their part-time job as well. So that's one of the important things that you'll need to know about how we deliver programs at DMU. In terms of career opportunities, guidance that we give for students, De Montfort University is ranked best university in the UK for work experience, thanks to our award-winning career support team. We do have, excellent mentoring schemes and career coaches that we offer to students. And if you'd like to explore your own business ideas and explore self-employment opportunities, we are here to help you with that. And this team also supports with short-term professional experiences. And like I said, careers and placement fairs usually happen twice a year during enhancement weeks. And we also help students to find graduate schemes, year in industry, and other internships. So how we help them? We help them with creating their CV, cover letters, and help them with mock interview preparation as well. Accommodation. So we have 7 halls of residence at De Montfort University, both owned by DMU and privately. Accommodation will start from £95 per person per week, and they're all shared facilities most of the time, which means that students will have access to a common kitchen, a common bathroom in a flat. You can also opt for studio rooms where you get your own kitchen and bathroom, or ensuite rooms where you get your own bathroom. So we do have different options. They're all self-catered, which means that, unlike in certain cultures where, in universities and hostels are provided with food, there's no such thing. You have to cook your own food. There's no council tax for students and no other additional fee as well. There are other options available just outside of these 7 halls. So we do have a lot of private companies having different accommodations around campus. You can also find privately owned houses and flats, so which you can hunt individually or as a group. So you can go onto websites like Gumtree, Rightmove, or Zoopla, where you can find accommodation options. Most of them can be paid in different installments, or you'll have to pay upfront. Campus-based internships. So we have different internship opportunities available for students, something called ACE internships. It's very popular for undergraduate students. As you all probably know, you can work for up to 20 hours per week. So this internship, we work in close collaboration with local employers, and we match you with them, and you have an opportunity to work with them for up to 6 weeks. And similarly, we have something for graduates as well, something called Graduate Champion. So if you're a recent graduate, you can still participate in the Graduate Champion, where you can work for 6 weeks for the closest employers that we have on campus. Frontrunners is another popular internship opportunity that we have. So you can work maybe, for example, as a research assistant, where you help your professors or PhD students in their research. And finally, uni temps. So that's my personal favorite, because I started my career in the international office through uni temps. I volunteered I worked as a brand ambassador, got paid for it through uni temps, and later was able to find a full-time opportunity with an international office. So I highly recommend you to make use of the campus-based internship opportunities. DMU Global is another favorite part of mine. So it's an international experience program offering the UK's largest mobility scheme. So what do we do? So we take students to different countries on overseas trips. Students also participate in student exchange, on-campus opportunities, and some virtual international opportunities. So, say for example, you're learning about contemporary management as part of your degree. Your learning is not just limited to classrooms. We take you to different cities in Europe where you can meet businesses in person and see how they manage businesses, in today's world. So this gives you a global exposure, and this is very good on your CV. So you can talk about your international exposure, in interviews that you're sitting. The best thing is we give you pocket money to attend these trips. So if any trip is within Europe, you'll receive £200 bursary, and if it's anything outside Europe, you'll get £400 bursary, and that's very exclusive to just Montfort University. Right, so application. So how to apply? So students normally apply directly through the application portal that we have, or students apply through agents in their country. Please know that you have to apply through an agent that De Montfort University has recognized. You can go and check the De Montfort University website to see if that agent is recognized by DMU or not. You can also submit your application to our regional teams. I'll drop the specific emails later in the chat box. So what do you need for application? You need your completed application form, a copy of your passport, proof of English, academic transcripts, and a personal statement. If you're applying for any creative courses like the design courses, you will need a portfolio. If not, don't worry about it. Scholarships. So for postgraduate, we have scholarship options. Anyone applying for ADH faculty, you have a flat £2,000 discount. Someone applying to the business and law faculty courses, you have £3,000 discount. Similarly, for Chem faculty courses and HLS faculty courses, you have a £3,000 discount on your tuition fee. Undergraduate courses, we have a flat £2,000 discount for undergraduate courses. This is scholarship options that we have in place for February 2026 intake. And now I'm going to hand over to my colleague Gemma to cover the credibility assessment.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. I just wanted to go through the credibility assessments with you. So for those of you that haven't had an invitation for your credibility assessment, then you will need to contact your agent because the agent will arrange the credibility assessment with us. If you have applied direct to the university, admissions will be in touch. Okay, so there's nothing for you to do. You just need to wait or chase your agent. Okay, and then you'll be sent an invitation. When you're sent the invitation, you will need to book your credibility assessment. You will be given quite a lot of dates are free at the moment, and you can choose the time that's best for you too. Okay, for your credibility assessment, you will need your passport. So make sure you have that with you and make sure it's a valid passport. And also we double check that it's the person in the passport that we are doing the assessment for. So please make sure that you are attending this assessment yourself and that you're not getting anybody else to do it, because we do double check. It's quite a robust process. So, okay, credibility assessment. This will be done by one of my team members, and they will ask you some questions on these key areas. So on finance and funding, I would expect you to have a good idea of where the money has come from to pay for your degree. But not just for your degree, you also need to have the money for your expenses. So the fees have increased for some of the courses, so you need to make sure you're up to date with that. And also the government recently increased the expenses for the UK. So you do need to make sure that you are up to date with the expenses too. So when we ask you about this, we want to know who your sponsor is, or if you have an education loan, but we would expect you to know all of the details on this, please, because you will be asked where this money has actually come from. If it's your parents that are your sponsors, then you will need to find out how much money they earn in the jobs that they do and how long it took them to save the full amount of money. Okay, and we also need to have a plan. If you're applying for an undergrad course, we would need a financial plan for your second and third year too. And also, I'm just looking in the chat here. The result will be sent within 5 working days for your assessment result. Okay, and like I say, when it comes to the finances, you really need to make sure that you get all this information from your parents if they're the sponsors. It is a sensitive subject, but it's a UKVI requirement. So please make sure you get all that information and be clear when you're answering the questions. If it's an education loan, we need to know all of the details of that education loan, the amount of money, the repayment terms, and the interest rate. Okay. Research on the course. We would expect you to have a good idea of this course and how it's going to help you in your future. And does it link to anything that you've previously done? It could be work, or it could be another degree that you've done, or it could be related to something that you've done in your higher education. We don't expect you to know all of the modules, okay? That's a lot of things to remember, but you may be asked to talk about 1 or 2 of the modules. So make sure you have a good look at the course. Reasons for choosing DMU in the UK. You really need to have a good think of why you want to come to the UK. What are your genuine reasons for wanting to study in the UK, and why have you chosen DMU over hundreds of universities in the UK? We would expect you to compare with other universities and research DMU, research the facilities, everything that we have to offer. We don't want any answers. For example, all universities have libraries in the UK. So giving us generic answers like that won't be helpful. You need to be specific to the university itself. Okay, so the person who's asking you the questions would expect unique answers on DMU. Okay, accommodation. We do need you to have some good idea of where you would be living in the UK. It's fine if you want to come to the UK and stay with family or friends until you settle, or stay in a hotel whilst you look at your accommodation, if you want to see it before you actually sign up for the contract for your accommodation. But you need to tell us in the assessment what your plans are. So if you're planning to do that, then that's fine. But you also need to research some of the accommodations that you will actually be living in whilst doing your course. Okay, and you do need to be living close to campus. Many students are coming to registration not living in Leicester. That's not allowed. You need to be living close to the campus. So please make sure that you plan ahead, because it will cause issues when you actually arrive in the UK. Future plans, like I said, this can link to the course. So make sure that your plans are genuine and you have a good idea of what you want to do in the future. Okay, we don't really want to know that you're planning on working for multinational companies and that you want to be a manager. We need more detail than that. Give us the name of the places where you want to work and what kind of role you want to do in the future. Okay, so I know it might be early days for some of you, you're not sure, but you need to have some idea, because again, it's a UKVI requirement. So make sure that you are ready for that question, because we would want some details on that. If you've got an education gap and you've applied for masters, if there's a gap of 2 years or more, we would be asking extra questions of why you have this gap. Okay, it might be that you're working, or you've been studying, or your family's been saving for your education. Whatever that reason is, we will need to know the reason for your gap. If it's if it's a undergrad, that's a 2 years. We will ask questions for an undergrad for 2 years. If it's postgraduate, then we will be asking questions if it's 5 years plus. So undergrad 2 years plus, we will need to know the gap reason, and undergrad, postgrad 5 years plus, we would need to know the reason for your education gap. So please be ready for that question. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so we do have an issue with many students having their assessment and a lot of their answers are scripted. Okay, so please make sure that you are not overtraining yourself and that you don't have too many mock assessments, because if you come to the assessment and you start speaking really fast because you're trying to get all the information out quickly, you're going to fail your assessment. We need you to speak naturally with us, okay? It just needs to be a natural conversation and answer the questions honestly and make sure that you're sounding natural, because many students are coming through and you're just sounding scripted, you sound robotic, and everything is very memorized. It's like you're reading from something. So you need to make sure that you attend the assessment and answer all the questions naturally and don't answer the questions too fast, okay? Because it's going to sound scripted. So please be careful with this, because many students are failing in this area. So you need to make sure that when you're doing your research, yes, you're going to try and remember a lot of the answers, a lot of the things that we've just talked about in the key areas, but please make sure that it's not scripted. Okay, we need natural answers. Okay, so I can't see any other questions in there at the moment, but like I say, if you need a credibility assessment, you've paid your deposit, get in touch with your agent, and if you apply direct to the university, admissions will be in contact with us. So don't worry about getting your actual invitation. Okay, thank you for joining.
Thank you, Gemma. Thank you very much. So yeah, just like Gemma mentioned, please do follow the tips which she's given how to go about the credibility assessments. We also have a dedicated web page where you can find more information about the frequently asked questions and tips and tricks to clear the interview. So yeah, make sure you do that before you take your assessment. Coming to the final bit of the presentation, key deadlines. Now that's very, very important for you all to remember. As you can see, the teaching for the February intake will begin on the 9th of February, and that's also the last date for you to come to the campus and register yourselves before you can start your classes. So the deadlines, it's best if you work from the end, so make sure you try to arrive in the UK before 8th of February, so you have enough time to register. But the latest you can submit your application is on the 15th of December. Okay, and then we will start the registration on the 26th of January. And the last day that we will be issuing CAS, which is your confirmation of acceptance of studies, is on the 16th of January. So between the 16th of January and the last date of registration, you have about 2 to 3 weeks this time. So that's completely your responsibility to make sure that you apply for your visa, make sure you get your visa in that time, and fly to the UK and register on time. Please note that under any circumstances, you will not be able to register after the 9th of February, no matter how extenuating the circumstances. So make sure you plan your application journey according to these deadlines. Okay, so that's it from me and Gemma. So we will now move on to the questions bit. And now I'm being joined by my colleague, Daniel Winnie, who's also an alumna of DMU. So you can shoot us any questions about university apart from how to go about applications. Great. So let me just look into the chat box. We have a few questions coming up. Robbie has asked, will the stream...
There's a question on screen, Pooja, about the postgraduate students allowed in halls of residence.
Oh, yeah. Great. Yeah. Do you want to go
So,
first,
yeah, I can cover that one. So, yes. So any international student, whether you're studying foundation right up to postgraduate study and PhD study, you have you can stay in halls of residence. So it's guaranteed as well for you. So no matter when you decide to apply or pay your deposit, which is what you need to do in order to book your accommodation, you can get a place in the halls of residence. So there's lots of options for you. You can live in a flat with other people where you might share a living space and kitchen, but you might have your own bedroom and bathroom. Or if you want to, you can live in a studio apartment, which is where you'll have all of your own living area as well. So yeah, postgraduate students are allowed in the halls of residence, and actually it's something that we recommend. All of our halls of residence are within 5 to 10 minutes walk. Some of them are even over the other side of the road to where you'll study, so very, very convenient for you. So we do recommend that you do stay in the halls of residence.
Great, thanks, Dan. Right, got the next question. I want to know about precast deposit after getting £3,000 scholarship. Degree is MSc Project Management. I'm happy to take that. So the precast deposit is 50% of your tuition fee. So we would encourage you to pay 50% of your overall tuition fee. Okay. And then the remaining tuition fee that you owe, which is the 50%, you can deduct the scholarship amount from that, and you can pay that in 2 installments if you wish. So that's how you go about the calculation for 50% of your tuition fee. Will the stream be on YouTube after live event? Yeah, it will be available on YouTube. You can watch this, and if you have any more questions, also you can reach out to us directly, and we'll be happy to answer. Do we get scholarships in second year after we complete our DMU IC? Dan, do you want to go for it?
Yeah, sure. So any students that studied at DMU IC, so that's whether you've done a foundation, international year 1 or international year 2, or you might have even done a pre-masters, your scholarships will work differently to if you've applied directly. So the best thing to do is to contact your DMU IC rep. So when you join DMU IC, hopefully you spoke to someone at our partners, Oxford International, or speak to the college itself if you're currently studying now. So speak to them, and they will be able to inform you what scholarship you are entitled to. But the scholarships that were displayed on screen, those are the scholarships just for students coming directly into a DMU course.
Does DMU offer courses related to stock markets analysis? That's a really good question.
Yeah, I could take that one. So yeah, we're very we've got a lot of experience in that area. So firstly, we have a number of courses related to that. So whether that's finance and investment, we also have accounting and finance, banking and finance, risk management as well. So we've got a lot of different courses, both at bachelor's level and master's level. Most of the courses that relate to finance and investment actually start in September. If you want to, you can go on our website and search for all of our courses, and you can see if they're available in February as well. But in terms of our support for students interested in kind of the stock market, we have one of the biggest trading rooms in the UK, which we opened about 2 years ago. It's a Bloomberg trading room, and it imitates the stock market. So whether you study a course related to finance and investment, you'll be able to use that room as part of your course, and it will be in credited modules. But if you're doing a different course, maybe a different business course, you can still use that room kind of outside of your module and your timetable in order to practice learning about the stock market, trading, and everything like that. So yeah, if you're interested in kind of stock market analysis, then DMU is definitely a good choice for you. So I definitely recommend looking at our course. After this presentation, you can maybe search for finance and investment course on our website, and it's the same for each and every one of our courses. On our website, you can check the modules, and each module will give you a detailed information on what you will learn. So you can check if that's for you and if it's the right course for you.
Thanks, Dan. I've actually just dropped the link to the webpage that talks more about the trading flow, so everyone please have a look
Great.
You don't necessarily have to be studying business and management to make use of this facility. Any student, you can just walk in and you can make use of the opportunity that you have to learn about stock market analysis. Right. Got another question. When will DMU start issuing CAS to Pakistani students for Jan intake? Right, so I can take that. I'm just showing the key deadlines slide over here. Just going to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, so CASs are going to be start issuing from next week. So not just for students from Pakistan, but students from all countries. If you've paid a deposit and if you've completed your credibility assessment and got the result, and you've paid 50% deposit, then your CAS will start to be issued from next week. Now, I'm not saying it will be issued on Monday, but what I'm saying is that they'll start to issue them from Monday. So if you've completed all of the necessary steps, please expect to receive your CAS next week. In terms of what you need to do in order to receive a CAS, we do require a 50% deposit. So to calculate that, you take your tuition fee, you minus your scholarship that you will receive, and then you do 50% of that. Okay. And then if you've paid that, you've met all your conditions and received an unconditional offer, or you've completed all of the conditions that were mentioned in your conditional offer, and if necessary, you completed your credibility assessment, then we will issue your CAS to you. Okay.
The next question is about how will I get to know about total scholarship amount? Right, so I'm just posting another link in the comment box to the page where you can learn more about the scholarship offer. So please have a look and you can check for yourself how much you are eligible. Right. Is it possible to apply for the scholarship after you have been given a conditional offer? Dan, do you want to go for it?
Yeah, so you don't need to apply for the scholarship. So all students, all international students will be able to access the scholarship. So you don't need to complete any application. So all you have to do is once you've got a conditional offer and you've decided you want to join us, if you pay a deposit, then the scholarship will be automatically applied to your account. So by the time you get your CAS, the scholarship will already be noted on your CAS. So yeah, no need to apply.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions, team?
Yeah,
Okay,
so I'm just going to go through the questions now.
Yeah.
Someone asked, well, accepting my offer, I paid £8,000 instead of £1,000. I haven't done a credibility assessment. I'm wondering if this can cause me problems. So no problems. So that just means, yeah, it's to do the credibility assessment, we need £1,000 or above. So by paying £8,000, that's fine. You'll still be able to complete your credibility assessment. What it does do is it's probably a positive. Hopefully, when you do pass, you would then have obviously already paid 50%. So then you would automatically get your CAS straight away after that. So yeah, no worries. It might be a happy accident. If further down the line, we do have a full refund policy. So for any students who do not pass their credibility assessment, hopefully all of you do, but if you don't, then we will give you a full refund on anything that you've paid. So towards your tuition fee. So you don't need to worry about that.
Just to quickly echo on what Dan just mentioned, please note that the credibility process is for students of certain nationalities. That's from India, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Ghana, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Iran, and Afghanistan as required by UKBI. So please make sure that you check whether you will need to take a credibility assessment or not. If not, you can proceed to the tuition fee deposit payment, pre-CAS deposit payment, and get your CAS letter.
Yeah, another question around the last date of a credibility assessment. So the last official date is the 9th of January. So yeah, please do make a note of that date, over 2 months away from now. So that's the last date which we will conduct a credibility assessment. So you'll need to have paid your deposit way before then. What we do is we set the dates based on our teaching, so the start of teaching. just to ensure that you arrive on time. So you can have your credibility assessment, your CAS can be issued, you can apply for your visa, book your flight. There's a lot of steps. So we always do recommend that you plan ahead and pay your deposit and book your interview or your assessment as early as possible, just so that you're not rushed and you don't have any stress towards the start of your course date. Because when you come to a new country and study in a new institution, obviously you're going to be nervous, worried. We've got a lot of activities for you. As Pooja mentioned earlier, we're #1 for international student support. So when you arrive, we want you to be as chilled as possible so that you can settle in, make new friends, get over the homesickness, and start your course in a great frame of mind.
And I think we have another question about how many days of classes, or how much weekly days I need to join for International Business Management MSc. Okay. So you will be expected to come to campus and attend your lectures, seminars, 4 days of the week, or sometimes even 5 days. So it really depends on the timetable. So you do have some flexibility around the timetable that you can opt for, but whenever you are expected to come to the classes or seminars, you will need to make sure that you attend, because attendance will be closely monitored, and you will be here on a student visa. So that's very important for you to attend classes regularly and not miss out on attendance, because we will be informing the Home Office about that as well. So please make sure whenever you have classes, come to the campus approximately 3 to 4 days minimum. Sometimes you might even have 5 days of classes, depending on the module and the assessments that's going on. Is there any other questions? I think we've covered most of the questions in the chat box. Yeah, got one more. So what will be the expenses as a student in the university surrounding for a month? Dan, do you want to go for it?
Yeah. So obviously every student's different. So in terms of what we recommend around just over £1,000 a month to include your rent, your food, and other social activities you might do. But yeah, it's every student's different. Obviously, if you're eating out every day, going out in the evenings, then you're obviously going to spend a lot more. But yeah, I'd estimate between £800 to £1,000 each month. What you can also do is, if some students choose to get a part-time job, so as part of your student visa, whilst you're studying, you can work up to 20 hours per week. And there's lots of opportunities both on campus and in the city of Leicester. So before you join DMU, have a look on Unitemps at some of the opportunities that you might be interested in. You might want to become a student ambassador, where it's flexible and it can work around your schedule. So yeah, Leicester is a very affordable city compared to some of the other major cities in the UK. So it's not too expensive, but yeah, around £1,000 I'd say to be on the safe side.
Yeah. Another question. Could you please tell me if I will need to take additional interviews for the UKVI after passing the credibility interview for MSc in computing? Dan, do you want to go for it?
Do you want me to take one? Yes. So yes, it is possible that you might have to take an additional interview with UKVI. So the credibility interview is an internal interview. So it's the university that will conduct the interview. And what we're aiming to do is to ensure that all of the students that are joining us are credible students, and also prepare you for any interview that you might have with the UKVI. So if you do have a future interview with UKVI when you apply for your visa, you can expect that the interview will be very similar to the credibility interview that you have with the Montfort University. So yes, it is possible, but we don't have many cases where if you've passed an interview with DMU, it's very, very low chance that you would fail in an interview with UKVI. We have barely any cases of that, so you don't need to worry about any future interview with UKVI.
Yeah. Next question. If someone does not pass the credibility assessment, what happens next?
Yeah, so if you don't pass the credibility assessment, then we would issue you a full refund of your tuition fees. So we would obviously provide the details on why you didn't pass the credibility assessment, and then we would issue you a full refund on any tuition fee that you've already paid.
Okay. Is there any more questions that we are having? As I think we've covered most of it.
Someone asked about the other scholarships. So there are Commonwealth and Chevening scholarships, and also there might be local government scholarships in your country. So we do have partnerships. You can apply for Chevening scholarships for DMU, and they're normally a fully funded scholarship. We've had a few scholars that joined us in September. So they are run by the British Council. So they're not DMU specific scholarships, but we do have partnership with the British Council. So if you do decide to apply for a Chevening scholarship and you want to come to DMU, then that will be permitted.
Yeah. And someone's also asked a question about how long is the duration of study for MSc International Business Management. So it's a 12-month course, which you will be doing if you start in September. Obviously, it's a 16-month course if you start in February intake. It's a one-year program of study where you will be having different block teaching methods delivered to you, as I mentioned earlier. So it's just the program only. So after that, after you complete your program, you may want to apply for your post-study work visa option if you wish. So that's another option for you after you complete your degree successfully. Any more questions do we have?
Yeah, I think it was answered earlier, but I think there was another question around this session. So obviously, there's a lot of information in this session. You can watch it back on YouTube, so it will be on YouTube alongside a lot of other online events that we've recorded, but also other videos that have been recorded and posted on YouTube. If you've also got Instagram or Facebook, I do recommend that you follow DMU Leicester on those platforms because, again, a lot of information is given on those platforms. We also hold a lot of sessions with current students, alumni, where they give their opinions and their advice on new students who join us. So yeah, if you do have those social media platforms, I do recommend that you follow us on that. Question around MBA Global. So the course is 16 months in February start and 12 months in September because there's a longer gap in the summer break. So between around June to September, you will have a longer gap where you won't have your studies. So obviously you can use that time to travel around the UK. It's the best time in the UK in terms of weather. So that's why the course is a different length if you do start in February.
We've got another question. When I'm studying a course at the same time, could you recommend any internships from your side?
Yeah, well, we have we're an award-winning career service, so we've got one of the best careers team in the whole of the UK. So no matter what faculty you join, you will have access to our colleagues who have been working in that area for a long period of time. So they'll be able to advise you on what internships or longer term placements are available. So when you do arrive in the UK, I do recommend that you go and visit them. They're located in your faculty, and you can set up a meeting and find out what support you can get. That could range from help with your CV to your job interview skills. So please do go and see them, and also give our careers hub a visit as well. So our careers hub is located in the Hugh Aston building, so near where business and law faculty is. And in there, you'll get lots of you get access to stuff like the VR headset, where you can practice your job interview skills, but also our staff who can advise you on what you want. So every student's different. Some students want a shorter term internship. Some students want a job alongside their degree. So every student case is different. So what we try and do is make sure that you get the bespoke advice that you need.
Someone's asked, what's the earliest to arrive for February intake? So I can go for it. As soon as you get your CAS letter, you can proceed with your visa application, and as soon as you get your visa, you can come to the UK. So that's absolutely fine. But we do have a final deadline on when you have to arrive in the UK. That is the 9th of February. Although I wouldn't recommend sticking on until 9th of February, I highly recommend you start planning your application journey so you try and arrive earlier than that. But the latest you can do is the 9th of February. And the earliest you can do is as soon as you get your CAS letter, you can apply for your visa and just travel to the UK. I have a bachelor in political science and I am applying for the MSc marketing management. Does this course suit my academic background? I think it does. Do you want to add anything, Dan?
Yeah, sure. So if you want to study marketing management, we are very strong. I know that there's been another question around marketing management. So me personally, I studied a business and marketing course at DMU, and yeah, it was a great course for me. But marketing management is you can join the course if you have a background. I'm just checking very quickly. Yeah, you can have a background in any subject. So no matter what you've studied at bachelor level, you can study marketing management as long as you've got a 2-2 award or an equivalent in your home country. So yeah, having a background in political, I think it was political science. Yeah, and you can join the marketing management course. The marketing courses at DMU are very strong. What makes DMU slightly different is that we have a lot of teachers and tutors that have come from an industry background. So for me personally, my personal tutor had come from IBM, so had a lot of experience in the industry, had a lot of experience in what it takes to get a job in the industry, and they also are able to bring in their contacts from the marketing world to deliver guest lectures throughout the year as well. A lot of the assessments are very interactive assessments. So if you like presenting and doing projects, designing a brand maybe, then you'll have all of that as part of your course. So yeah, I think what makes DMU different is our is the relationship that you will have with your teachers, and your personal tutor will be very strong. You'll be able to travel abroad as part of your studies, like Pooja mentioned, through the DMU Global project. And also, if you don't want to do a dissertation, you can also do a consultancy project as well. So I speak to a lot of students who don't like doing a dissertation and want to do something a bit more interactive and practical. So in your final blocks, you can do a marketing consultancy project as well. And I think finally, and it's true for all subjects, we teach in block modules. So you would study one module and complete all the assessments for that module before you move to the next module. It's something we brought in around 3 years ago, and we've had lots of great feedback. And actually, students prefer that because they can concentrate just on one subject before they move to the next one. Yeah.
Got the next question. Once I paid 50% deposit, after how long will I be required to pay the outstanding amount?
Yeah. So once you've paid 50%, that's all you need to do. That's the amount you need in order to register. So what happens will be you'll get your CAS, and then you then apply for your visa. Sorry about that. Yeah, so then you can register. So you'll need to complete a register online first, and then you'll complete a registration on campus face to face. So the remaining 50% of your tuition fee will then need to be paid in 3 installments throughout the year. Okay, so yeah, once you've paid 50%, you don't need to worry about paying any more tuition fee until you arrive in the UK. Is it a question around post-study work visa? So yes, the UK does have a post-study work visa. The it's currently it's currently 24 months, so 2 years. But from January 2027, if you complete your degree after that date, then it will be 18 months. So that means that once you graduate, you can move on to the post-study work visa, and then you will have 18 months. So in that time, you can then try and seek employment during that time if that's something that you want to do. So there's still a long period of time. I know 6 or 7 years ago it was a lot less time than that. I think it was 3 months. So 18 months is a lengthy time. And during your study, you can find out, from our colleagues about how you can apply for that post-study work visa. But as long as you've studied for 12 months or more in the UK and you complete your course, you will have access to apply for that visa. So if you want to pay your deposit, then please pay via Flywire. So you can go online. If you go onto international tuition fee payments on our website, there is a link on there which will take you through to the Flywire portal where you can make your payment. So in terms of the deposit amount, every person's deposit amount will be different. It will depend on A, what course you're doing, and then B, what scholarship you will get. So I'll say again, what you need to do is find out what your tuition fee is, then work out what scholarship you will get. And we mentioned those earlier in the presentation, and you can rewind this presentation to see that slide, and then deduct 50%, and that will be what deposit you will need to pay. Credibility interview results. It takes 5 days for the credibility interview results to be given.
I've been having some feedback loop at my end, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. So I think most of the questions have been answered now. A lot of the questions that are coming in, I think we have covered. So, like I mentioned earlier, this presentation will be on YouTube, so you can watch it back. And obviously, all of the information has been given regarding scholarships and credibility assessment. So please feel free, once this is finished, to rewind and have a look back. If you do have any more questions, you can always get in touch with your regional team. So or your agent can help you as well. So thanks very much for joining, Pooja. I don't know if you want to sign us off.
Thank you. I'll leave the team to do it, sort of having a feedback loop.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I'll finish then. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining. We do have these sessions every month, so please feel free to look out for the next one, which will be more centered towards pre-departure session, which will be preparing you for your trip or your flight to the UK and starting your studies. But like I say, if you do have any more questions, please do get in touch with your regional team. And thanks again for joining, and hopefully see you on the next event. Thank you very much.